Good afternoon, everybody. Big Mike back here with you once again. Welcome back to Big Mike Talks, where today I'm going to be talking about the week that was in pro wrestling. So that is going to today include WWE Monday Night Raw and NWA Power. No AEW Dynamite because I ended up watching Agatha all along, which if you haven't, check it out. It's actually pretty good. The first 2 episodes at least. So, let's get it started with Monday Night Raw, which starts... The heck? Oh, which starts with a CM Punk promo. I do have my notes here, but it doesn't say who started the promo. It just started the promo. I guess I was running late for the show for whatever reason, but I ended up catching the promo, so my apologies. Actually, I did see this because we saw Punk, who actually started in the car park, and the camera followed him all the way to the ring, which I love that stuff. That stuff is cool. It's all one continuous shot. It's great. Anyway, so Punk gets down to the ring, does his usual, "Isn't it great to be alive on Monday night or what?" I hate that. I hate that little catchphrase as much as, "Well, what do you guys want to talk about?" from Cody Rhodes. It's lame. It's not going to catch on. It's not going on a t-shirt. So let's drop this. Let's get into the promo. He says, "I'm at the point in my career where people are asking me, how many more matches do I have left? And depending on your reaction to the answer, it's either going to be mildly depressing or you're going to be ecstatic because it's way more than you think." Which, fair if he thinks he's got some time, which is fine. He continues, "When I came back, I didn't want to make any friends, but it was not my intention to make a mortal enemy. And the only way to end this is at Hell in a Cell. I was naive to think it was over at with the boat, me touching 4 corners, in which, was naive for Drew to think it was over at SummerSlam. And we should have both agreed that this should have stopped the second time Drew sent me to the hospital. Which, maybe. But I'm just too damn stubborn. Things are different now. Now the question is, how many Hell in a Cell matches do I have left? Big old 0. My family and friends have asked me not to do this. The angel on my shoulder begged me not to do this. And allow me to tell you why I'm doing this. The last time I was here, if you push me far enough, I could become the devil himself. And the only way that this ends is at Hell in a Cell. Drew can't make this promise. Can't promise that he's going to kill me. But I'm not making any promises I can't 100% deliver on. I'm prepared to die," which I don't remember the last time I've heard that on WWE programming. "But I am prepared for this to be over. And Drew, if you're prepared for this to be the end, I'll see you in hell." I loved this promo. This promo was great. It was to the point, and it was the usual CM Punk intensity we got from years ago. He's angry, he's ready to fight, and he's ready to die for this to be done. Which is, that's probably not going to happen, but holy heck, this is going to be an interesting Hell in a Cell match, which is coming October 5th, I believe. So that should be a fun one. Then we go backstage for an interview with Sheamus, who, he looks great. Anyway, he starts I thought I've done way too well. He's I'm talking about when he took my dream away of becoming the first ever WWE Grand Slam champion. I'm going to be bringing the pain to my former protege. But, oh, fellas, don't call him Butch. He hates that. Alright, Pete Dunne. You prepared to become my Butch. Damn, some fighting words. It definitely fired up Sheamus as we go into our first matchup of the evening, as it's Sheamus taking on Pete Dunne. And throughout the match, you hear the crowd chanting Butch, Pete Dunne's former name when he was in the Brawling Brutes with Sheamus. And this match was okay. Like, it wasn't the greatest thing in the world, but it wasn't really the worst. Near the end, Pete Dunne has the Sheamus's shillelagh. He was about to hit Sheamus with it. Sheamus catches it, intimidates Pete Dunne to roll outside the ring. And as Sheamus is leaning over trying to get Pete Dunne, Pete goes underneath the ring, brings out a straight up wood cricket bat, and just wham! Hits Sheamus with it. Then Pete Dunne with a big old boot to pick up the win. This rivalry I feel like has been a little bit overplayed. So I don't know how much more we can do. Maybe we'll see a cricket bat match at some point. I don't know. We then get a recap of Finn Balor's challenge to Damian Priest for Bad Blood. Then we see the rest of Judgment Day got involved. And, Priest and Rhea want to fight him off. We then go to Priest and Rhea Ripley in the back, with Priest saying, "Hey, cuz, you know before Rhea and Priest could start, Jey Uso walks up, says, "Hey, you know I got your back in your match tonight?" And Priest is like, "Oh yeah, thanks for that, man." Then Xavier Woods comes in. Pretty much says, "Look, the three of you know Judgment Day like the back of your hand. But Kofi and I, we want to do this alone." Then Priest turns to him and says, "Look, I respect that. Good luck, man." And then Miz walks up to Jey Uso and asks, "What do you mean I'm no match for Bronson Reed?" Jey turns around and says, "Look, I didn't mean that. You've won many titles in your career. Oh, no, wait, this is for Braun Strowman. What the heck? Why did I mix these?" Anyway, so we get Braun Strowman in the back, actually. He's in his locker room. He's warming up. And then The Miz walks up to him, pretty much says what he says. And then Strowman says, "Look, it's easy. It takes a monster to beat a monster." Miz is like, "Yeah, I got it," and walks off. So I'm not sure what The Miz has planned, but yeah, I guess we'll see. Next matchup of the evening, we've got Natalya taking on Zoe Stark. And this match was definitely way better than the opener. But here's where it gets weird. Zoe Stark goes for the Z360. That gets countered by Natalya. Looking for the sharpshooter. Zoe gets out of it. Hits a roll-up, only for a 2 count. Sharpshooter try again. That gets blocked. Countering roll-ups until Natalya ends up on top. Picks up the win. Why is Natalya beating Zoe Stark? I'm sorry. This is... if your idea is to get the Pure Fusion Collective over as a dominant force, they should not be losing to people like Natalya. No offense to Natalya. Extremely talented, second generation superstar. She does not need to win matches. So then we go backstage for a Rhea Ripley interview. Before any of her words start to come out, in comes Finn Balor, who says, look, I know we've been on opposite ends, but I've been meaning to catch up with you. Now you have a chance, and you feel like you're just as bad as Priest, and you only cared about yourself. Rhea then exclaims, you're the reason we aren't champions. And you're not going to lie, blatantly, we were family. We were providing opportunities for everyone. But if you want to make Damian and I the bad guys, go for it. And then Finn continues, look, you remember when Liv was putting the moves on Dom? I was the devil on his shoulder. And then Rhea just gets up in Finn Balor's face, ready to go. Jey Uso then walks in. He says, you got a problem here? Finn says, no problem, but you should really be focusing on the Intercontinental title match. And just so you know, you're out of your league here. Jey Uso then is like, Finn is right, and I'm on my way to the ring right now. So what I thought was going to be a warm-up match is actually an in-ring promo from Jey Uso, who does his usual Candice. Got my match with Braun Breaker, my first Intercontinental title shot. I wanted it, now I don't need anyone's help. And I'm going to get my first singles title on the main roster. And I'm not going to let this opportunity slip. And as he's saying that, out comes Intercontinental Champion Braun Breaker. Gets in the ring, gets a microphone, says, I told you to stay away. Yet here you are in your relentless pursuit of my title. You're going to try to prove to everyone you can do it yourself. But I did a little homework. You've been in WWE for 14 years. And you're a big star. People love you. But I've managed more in 6 months than you've done in your entire career. I didn't need my father. I didn't need my uncle. I didn't even need my family name. This, he lifts up the Intercontinental title. This is my family. I'm a dog. This is what I do. Next week, I'm going to expose you, Jay, because you're nothing without your family. Definitely some fighting words. Jay with the most perfect response. Takes off his yeet glasses, looks Braun right in the eye and says, I see it in you, Braun. You do have that dog in you. And I'm not going to take you lightly either. I've been winning titles since you've been in diapers. I'm going to dog walk your ass. And we're going to see how long this title run lasts, because it could be as short as your NFL career. So then, it looks like Braun turns around. It looks like he's about to walk out. He attacks Jey Uso from behind. He's setting up for his spear, which he runs back and forth between the ropes. Jimmy intercepts him with a big old spear of his own. So, yeah, nice little promo segment. Leaving Jay standing tall on the go-home is interesting, because that tells me, in wrestling math, Braun Breaker's probably going to retain. Which I have no issue in. I don't want to see a short reign from Braun. But I would not mind a Jey Uso win here. So, next we got Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair. They're talking backstage. In walks Io Sky, who walks right up to Bianca, says, "How dare you challenge Kairi? You've seen she's in her injured eye." Then Bianca replies, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, whoa. It wasn't my choice to challenge her. That's how I was booked. But if you really want to protect your friend, why don't you step up?" Then Io kind of turns to Bianca. "I accept," and walks off. So we're getting Io Sky versus Bianca Belair on free TV. And we'll get there. We'll get there, don't you worry. So, anyway, for next matchup on the card, it is finally a World Tag Team title defense, as Judgment Day, being represented by JD McDonough and Finn Balor, take on the New Day, featuring Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods. And this match, throughout it, I thought New Day was going to win. Like, I'm definitely very old school. I remember the days where wrestling had a 30-day non-compete clause, in which if you're a champion and don't defend it, within the 30 days of your last defense, you get stripped of your title. So, seeing the World Tag Team titles just sitting there on Finn Balor and JD McDonough's shoulders, it was definitely frustrating. But this match was really, really good. But here's where it gets interesting. We see the rest of, as Xavier Woods hits a powerbomb, 1, 2, kick out. Out come Liv Morgan, Carlito, and Dom Mysterio of the Judgment Day. They come to ringside. And who fights them off? It's the Latino World Order. That's Dragon Lee, not Santos Escobar, Cruz del Toro, and Joaquin Wilde. They brawl ringside. As that's happening, Xavier Woods goes up top, hits his big old elbow drop. But the ref is on the outside, and he's dealing with all the brouhaha, so he missed Xavier Woods' pinfall. So Woods lets go of the pinfall, goes outside the ring, grabs the ref, kind of yelling in his face a little bit. Throws the ref back in, gets in himself. JD with the roll-up, only for a 2 count. Then he tags Balor in, gets Xavier Woods in kind of a coquina clutch, while Finn Balor hits the coup de grace for the win for Judgment Day. In post-match, you see Woods is all distressed. He's ready to be done with this. Kofi tries to comfort him, but then Woods pushes him away and leaves the ring on his own. I would be extremely sad if New Day broke up without reuniting with Big E at some point, which, they keep mentioning Big E. We'll go to this in a little bit. I'd definitely be a little disappointed if the New Day break up. Anyway, then we get a Bo Dallas, Wyatt Six kind of VCR VHS tape vignette which ends in "She is coming," along with a newest QR code. A lot of people are saying this is Alexa Bliss, which I wouldn't mind at all, considering her association with Bray Wyatt. But I guess we'll see. So next, we are backstage. Kofi Kingston is looking around for Xavier Woods. Interviewer walks up, tries to interview Kofi. He's like, "Look, I don't have a lot of time for this. I gotta go find Woods." At that point, we hear yelling off screen. Kofi then finds Xavier Woods, who is just yelling at the LWO, saying, You guys cost me my titles. What is going on? So then Kofi rolls up. He says, oh, I asked the LWO for help to even the odds against the Judgment Day. And then LWO leave. Woods then turns to Kofi and says, look, we didn't need help before because we had E. Actually, that was Kofi. So this is Woods. And he says, why does LWO know the plan from our tag team title match, but I don't? This is ridiculous. And then Woods walks off by himself. So this is an interesting little turn. I guess we'll see what happens with the New Day sooner rather than later. You then get a fun little Bronson Reed vignette in which, you know, it didn't feel ultimately pointless. So next up, this next matchup, we got Bronson Reed versus Braun Strowman, which actually, Strowman actually goes for a big splash in the corner, misses, the top rope snaps off, which I guess is a disqualification, so the match stops. But these two behemoths continue, including with a big old choke slam, big boot, both rolled to the outside. Braun Strowman goes for his shoulder tackle choo-choo train move, but then Reed takes a fan from the stands and throws him at Strowman. And one of the most ridiculous things I've ever seen. So Reed then throws Strowman into the barricade by the timekeeper's area, hits a big old crossbody through Braun Strowman. Reed gets up first. He walks through the crowd surrounded by security. Strowman gets up, catches up to him, and they pretty much brawl backstage into some equipment boxes, into a wall. Officials go to break it up, but Strowman just throws them around and then dumps a golf cart on him, which apparently disconnects a camera, which that's a nice little touch. Then as Strowman is turning back to Reed, he goes over by the table, tsunami through Strowman through the table. Both men get up. Reed is kind of by a clearly faked wall, and Strowman just forces both of them through it, including with little extra bits falling down. So, yeah, that was an interesting little brawl. And when we get back from commercial, we see a whole bunch of officials trying to dig them out from the rubble, which I'm going to say this. I am a little sad that this match got delayed again, but I think this is one of the bigger matches WWE can do, and you want to save it for a pretty big show. Maybe they do it at the Survivor Series. Who knows? So then we have Adam Pearce. He's in his office. In comes Ludwig Kaiser, who asks Adam, have you found a challenger for Gunther? Pearce then says, look, I've been working on a challenger. If he really doesn't want to face Sami Zayn, if Gunther has an issue, maybe he should come and see me himself. And then at pretty much that moment, Sami Zayn makes his entrance into the arena as we get a Sami Zayn promo, which that was shot really well. That transition from backstage to the in the ring, super good. Not getting that with Kevin Dunn, that's for sure. Anyway, so Sami Zayn says, well, I know I'm here in front of a white-hot crowd, but locked in my memory is standing here in this ring in Canada with Bret the Hitman Hart last week. I meant everything I said to him. and it was very motivational and what it meant to be a true champion. I wanted that to be me in the worst way. I need to be the world heavyweight champion, and I'm going to come in, defend my title every week, and be the champion you deserve. Unfortunately, Gunther has declined my challenge. He says because I'm not on his level. I do not believe that for 1 second. And he doesn't either. It's clear I'm in his head. He remembers what happens in Philly at WrestleMania. And if we do this rematch, I'll beat him again. I think he's scared. And before Sami Zayn can continue that thought, out comes not Gunther, Ludwig Kaiser. And he says, Sammy, what the heck are you doing out here? Out of everyone here, why is it you? Asking for a title match. And you think Gunther is scared of you? Why would he? He is the most dominant force in the WWE, and he's saving you from worst embarrassment of your life. And yes, you're correct. WrestleMania 40 was the greatest night in your career. I want to give you an advice. Miracles don't happen twice. Take it, run with it, because it's never happening again. So Sami Zayn retorts, it's clear to me, Gunther really doesn't need you. But you don't need Gunther either. And I see that you want to prove yourself. But you think you're going to win respect as Gunther's mouthpiece? You don't need to speak for Gunther. Speak for yourself. And I see what they're doing here. So Sami Zayn did this maybe not this exact same speech, but this exact same motivation that turned Jey Uso on the bloodline. So he's trying to do the same thing with Ludwig. And it's kind of interesting. I like it. A little callback. It is a little bit recycling, but I'm going to enjoy this. Anyway, so, end of that. Gunther comes out. He says, I'll answer your challenge in a bit, Sammy. Ludwig, you got something to say to me? Do it now. So Kaiser gets on the microphone, says, I've had something I've wanted to get off my chest for a long time. And it looks like we were going to see Kaiser and Gunther come to blows. But Kaiser turns and attacks Sami Zayn instead. And he just beats down poor old Sami Zayn, including with that big DDT thing. I don't know what to call Kaiser's finisher, because it's a little weird. So Gunther is still with the microphone, stands over Sami, says, regarding your challenge for my title, the answer is and will remain no. Gunther leaves the ring. Kaiser is about to, but then Sami Zayn grabs onto Kaiser's pant leg. Kaiser picks up Sami, goes for the DDT again. That gets countered by Sami, who it's a suplex and a perfectly timed Helluva Kick. Ooh. I am really looking forward to this match. This story is so good. It's so underrated too. I am really digging this story between Gunther. Then we have Ludwig Kaiser in here. Maybe he turns face. And Sami. It's all good. It's referencing their history. It's awesome. Anyway, so then we cut to backstage for an interview with Damian Priest, who says, do I have any hesitation? No. But before Priest can continue, Liv Morgan comes in, kind of gets into Priest's face and says, how sad. The former champion realizes he's got nothing. He lost his family. You're a lonely, desperate loser. Damn. And then Priest turns to Liv Morgan, says, when Rhea gets her hands on you at Bad Blood, you better go give your Dom a hiss goodbye, because when I get my hands on him, it's not going to be pretty. So, little threats from Damian Priest. Those two matches are going to be very, very interesting. We then go to our semi-main event, as it's Bianca Belair taking on Io Sky. And I'm going to say this. This was an absolute masterpiece of a match. Like, these two, we all knew these two had some great chemistry. And this was the result of that. Really nice back and forth between the two. Near the end, Io goes for the over the moonsault. Bianca gets her knees up. Goes for the KOD. Instead, Io rolls her up to pick up the win. And honestly, we need to see these two in a match sometime sooner than later. Because that was just beautiful. Next up, we see Damian Priest. He's working out a little backstage. Rhea comes in. She asks, "Tell me you're going to tear him apart." Priest is like, "Oh yeah, I've got a plan here. Look out." Then we see Jey Uso. He's standing around backstage. He says, and then Ilya Dragunov walks in. He says, "Good luck in your match next week." Jay is like, "Yeah, thanks, brother. I know you'll have my back when the time comes." Jay then leaves. Then the rest of Judgment Day come in, with Liv saying, "Looks like you've been making some friends around here. And we know you're new here, but you gotta pick better friends." And Dragunov drops the pipe bomb. "I obviously have more respect in Rhea, Priest, and Jay than you do for the entire roster." Then Finn Balor chimes in and says, "Next time, this message will not be delivered politely." So we're getting something with Judgment Day and Dragunov? I'm in. Anything to get more Dragunov on my TV. Then I did miss an interview with Ludwig Kaiser, which sets up a match between him and Sami Zayn, in which if Sami Zayn wins that, he's going to go on to face Gunther for the world title. So, I did get the gist of it, but I did end up missing it. And then we go into our main event of the evening. Dominic Mysterio takes on Damian Priest. And this was pretty much Interference City. One point, Priest goes for a Razor's Edge. Finn gets up on the apron and free of the Razor's Edge. Priest then kind of fights off Judgment Day after a little bit. But with the ref being distracted by Dom, Finn then attacks Priest. Dom with a big old dive. One point it does look like Dom has Priest right where he wants him. Priest counters, hits a broken arrow. And as he's going for the pinfall, Liv puts Dom's foot on the ropes, only for a 2 count. Then Rhea, who was standing ringside, pretty much spears Liv Morgan over the announce table, taking her out. With that distraction, Dom hits a 619, whiffs on the frog splash. Priest with a big old clothesline into the South of Heaven chokeslam to pick up the win. Post-match, rest of Judgment Day get in and attack Priest. And it looks like Rhea has a Dom up ready for the Riptide. but Liv takes her out. Out comes Jey Uso, but he kind of tiptoes to the ring. Like, he doesn't immediately run in. Then he kind of stops at the bottom of the ramp, eats a spear from Braun Breaker. So then we see Liv Morgan hit the Oblivion on Rhea, and then like 3 coup de grace from Finn on Priest to finish up Raw. Raw has been extremely good lately. Like, there's stories there, there's good wrestling. You got Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed trying to destroy one another like King Kong and Godzilla. Raw has been so entertaining. And I hate to bring this up, but at the end of the Vince era, my God, that was so frustrating to watch. Now that we're getting this, it feels like we're getting a little spoiled. And it feels great. It's awesome. I cannot wait to see what happens next week and the build up for Bad Blood. So that is it for Monday Night Raw. We then move to NWA Power, which is, of course, still around the... what are they calling it? It's some sort of special. And then we start off with one of NWA's territory promotions, as it's for the NWA Exodus Pro Championship, as it's Pretty Boy Smooth defending against Mims. And this matchup was a little awkward. Like, Mims tried his best to do what he could with Pretty Boy Smooth, but Smooth was definitely a bit awkward in the inside and on the brawl outside of the ring. And then we saw on the outside Pretty Boy Smooth pretty much beating down Mims to the point where Mims did not beat the 10 count. So your winner and still champion by count out, Pretty Boy Smooth. Man, that was awkward. I feel like there was a better way to do this without, either guy losing momentum or whatever. Post-match, Mims attacks Pretty Boy Smooth, including taking the Exodus Pro title and hitting Pretty Boy Smooth with it. So, I'm not 100% sure if that rivalry is done, because I don't really watch Exodus Pro. I wouldn't even know where to go to see it, honestly. But I guess that's something for that program. We then get for the NWA Women's Tag Team titles, as the King Bees take on Caribbean Flow. So that's La Rosa Negra and hold on, Jay. I forget her partner's name. I do apologize. This was definitely a fun little matchup, especially with Danny B and La Rosa Negra. They look like they get some great chemistry going. And honestly, the opponents looked really well too. But the finish comes after the cookie splat. La Rosa Negra whiffs on the cookie splash. Charity King with the roll-up and the retention for the King Bees. So, this is definitely going to be an interesting little one. And we'll see if this continues. We then go to our semi-main event. And it's for the NWA Crossfire Championship. Crossfire is, of course, another territory for the NWA. As Zion takes on champion Juventud Guerrera. If you don't know who that is, he is a very, very long-running wrestler. Been wrestling since like the late 90s in like ECW, WCW. Had a little stint in the WWE. And I think had a brief stint in TNA as well. And this match, this match was interesting. It's very contrast, big guy versus little guy match, and it really worked. With Zion locking in the Z clutch near the end. Juvi then grabs the ropes, but Zion doesn't let go of the hold, so the match is thrown out. So still, your Crossfire champion, Juventud Guerrera. Again, another screwy finish, which I don't exactly love. I'm going to need something from Zion to kind of explain what happened there. And then finally, we got our main event of the evening, as it's for the JCP Tag Team Championships, as the Stu Crew defends against the Fixers. That's Wrecking Ball Legursky and Jay Bradley. And the Fixers attack the Stu Crew before the bell. They brawl pretty much all around ringside. They get them back in the ring. And yeah, Fixers pretty much dominate the Stu Crew for a little bit. Eventually the bigger of the Stu Crew guys gets in. Wrecking Ball with a Samoan drive that gets blocked into a crucifix pin, where your winners and still JCP Tag Team Champions, the Stu Crew. But post-match, the Fixers attack the Stu Crew, including a World's Strongest Slam by Wrecking Ball Legursky and a big old clothesline from Jay Bradley. So it doesn't look like this feud is finished either. I doubt we're going to see any more of this on, Power. But we'll probably see it around, JCP. So, yeah, that's it for this week in wrestling. I hope you all enjoyed. So, coming a little later tonight, it's going to be WWE SmackDown and AEW Rampage. Although, potentially not for much longer. We'll see with the Warner Brothers Discovery deal. And then tomorrow is AEW Collision. Looking forward to every single thing. And until next time, happy wrestling, everybody. Peace.